Hi everybody, it's Coach Debbie. Good morning. I hope that today is a really wonderful day for you. I am half of Mom's Sanity. The other half is Coach Emily, and we are all about faith, fitness, motherhood, and nutrition. We try to weave it all together to find that really difficult place of having balance. So I wanted to share what we are having for dinner tonight. Believe it or not, I've already taken all of my 4 kids to school, so my house is nice and quiet other than the dogs. And I know that my day is busy, so I really need my crock pot to make dinner for us tonight. Having a big family means I use the crock pot a lot because it makes life easy. You already know that, but let me give you a 7-ingredient dinner that I think you're really going to like. So I've got a big old crock pot, and let's go ahead and get started. And know that I will put all of the ingredients in the recipe in the comments so that you're not having to write this out, because you'll lose the paper and you don't have time for that because you probably have kids screaming and one hand is clutching a cup of coffee. At least I hope it is. So here we go. We're gonna start with some beef broth. If you don't have beef broth, I know this is backwards, but this is beef broth. If you don't have this, you can use chicken broth, vegetable broth, whatever. I do try to get the gluten-free and unsalted because broth tends to be really salty. And so anytime we can kind of reduce that sodium, that's a perk. So we're gonna put only half a cup. So I bought really too big of a container, you know. How is your day going? I'd love for you to feel free to comment go ahead and type it out. How's your morning been? Has it been crazy? Is it a thumbs up kind of morning? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 is like you're on vacation and 10 is you need like to be admitted to the funny farm. How's your morning going so far? All right, so half a cup of beef broth, that's ingredient number 1. Next ingredient is you want to get about 1.5 pounds, maybe a pound if you have a smaller family, maybe 2 pounds or more if you have a larger family, of cubed meat. I tried to get the leanest cut I could. This is, I think, stew meat, which wasn't exactly what I wanted, but it'll be fine. The key is I needed it already cut up. Get whatever at the store, you don't have to cut, because ain't nobody got time for this. If this is truly Mom's Sanity, where we're making life easy, we need the meat already cut up. So it really doesn't matter what kind of meat you use. Yeah, I'm just gonna smush that all in and put that in the sink for a kid to do after school. All right, so that's our second ingredient. First ingredient, broth. Second ingredient, that like stew meat. Let me kind of mush that down. This is gonna be so good. It really is a busy day. Like I have to leave in 4 hours to go pick my kids up from school because it's an early release day. What? I'm like, that's like preschool hours, y'all. Okay, enough venting. Up next, half a cup. I know this, you can't really see this very well, but half a cup of cut up onion. I did not cut up these onions. Please understand my love of convenience. So I buy pre-chopped onions in the produce department. I'm gonna sprinkle this on. You're gonna notice I don't have any seasonings or spices. None of that is happening. Please take the liberty to add whatever you want. If you love garlic, if you love salt and pepper, if you have special favorites, please put those in your pot. I don't even care. I'll just probably put pepper on mine once it's on the table. But again, if we're having to pull out 58 spices, we're probably not gonna commit to it. Okay, so that's ingredient number 3. So we've got broth, beef broth. We've got whatever kind of cut up meat you can find. I use stew meat, but that wasn't exactly what I wanted. And then half a cup of chopped onion that I did not chop myself. No chance. Next, you're gonna add, now some of y'all are gonna be like, oh, I can't make it now. If you like mushrooms, which I do and my kids don't, but I'm the boss and so I don't care, they're gonna eat it. You're gonna do about 4 ounces, half a cup of sliced mushrooms. I did not slice these, that's crazy. I did buy the fresh, not the slimy canned kind, because blah, but it's just not that much. So just try it. If you're like an adult who just can't get on board with mushrooms, just give it another try. And if you love mushrooms, go ahead and put more in there if you just want it to be really mushroomy. Okay, so that's ingredient number 4. We've got beef broth, we've got cut up meat, half a cup of chopped onion, and then half a cup of sliced mushrooms. Then I'm gonna add in teriyaki sauce. Y'all, I spent like 8 hours at the grocery store trying to find a gluten-free teriyaki sauce. I think this is it. Yeah, this is gluten-free, and it is gonna have some yuck in it. It really, like if you read these, modified cornstarch, soy sauce, crap, it's really not good. It's not good for you because it's got soy, but I'm only going to use a small amount. So that's how I justify it, because I want that teriyaki flavor. This is what's the game changer. Try not to pour the whole bottle in. Only pour in 3 tablespoons. And by tablespoons, I mean heaping tablespoons, where it like accidentally drips out of the spoon. Oh yeah, gluten-free, so that means it's healthy, right? I'm saying that laughing. I know gluten-free isn't always the healthiest option. All right, so 3 tablespoons of gluten-free teriyaki sauce. So we've got, just to recap, we've got the beef stock, that's the beef broth, half a cup of onion, that's gone now, half a cup of mushrooms, that's gone, 3 tablespoons of teriyaki sauce. Now here's where everything has to pause. So I'm gonna stir this up, kind of mush up that teriyaki and get it all over the broth, beef, mushroom, onion situation. Let me just show you what this looks like so far, since you can't see. Raw meat. Yeah, botulism. Okay, but here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna cook this on low for 8 to 10 hours. That depends on what your day is like. So obviously for me, this is gonna be ready at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which is actually perfect. Here's the catch though. You're like, wait a minute, that's not 7 ingredients. There's more ingredients. Here's the catch, where you've got to be home 30 minutes before you serve this, but it's easy. All you're gonna do is add 2 bags of broccoli. I'm not gonna cut up broccoli. That's the level of lazy we have going on. I'm not even willing to cut up a crown. But if you are up for it, great. If you only have frozen, great. I'm gonna put 2 bags of this 30 minutes before, not now, because then it gets all wilted and your kids have so many tears. You want it to be kind of that firmer thing. The recipe that I found actually called for frozen, but I'd much rather have the crispy fresh. So you're gonna add this 30 minutes before. There's one more catch. Stay with me, it's worth it. If you have time, if this is too much and it's just gonna put you over the edge, don't do it. I'm gonna mix 2 tablespoons of water, little baby water, with how much? Let me look at my recipe again. How much? With 1 tablespoon of arrowroot starch. Do you have arrowroot starch? If I use it, I mean, this bag is almost empty. So this is only used to thicken it. Arrowroot starch, it's actually a real thing. I love Bob's Red Mill. You can probably get this on the interweb. That's where I get most of my weird special stuff. But I'm gonna mix 1 tablespoon of this with my water. And I'm gonna mix it and let it sit. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add the broccoli 30 minutes before. I'm gonna mix this in this tiny micro bowl, and it's gonna thicken it, and then I'm gonna add it to the crock pot so that it's not just this big runny watery yuck. Instead it's like, oh, this is thick and kind of tastes like how the restaurants do it. So you don't have to do that step if you're okay kind of having like a more runny consistency. So let me run through all and see how I save the crazy special stuff until the end. All right, so you're gonna add half a cup, no salt added, beef broth. You're gonna do half a cup chopped onion. I'm gonna put all this in comments. Don't write this down. That's a waste of your paper. Half a cup of sliced mushrooms, if you can stomach that. 3 tablespoons of gluten-free teriyaki sauce, which is bad for you. It's just bad, but it's a small amount. And then 30 minutes before, you gotta kind of like tie the bow on the package, because this is gonna cook for 8 to 10 hours, which is probably for your crock pot, or at least mine, that means low. and 2 bags of this 30 minutes before. If you forget and you need to add it now, that's okay. If you need to just dump it and truly like set it, forget it, do that. And then 30 minutes before, you're gonna mix some of this with some water so it makes this thickening agent so that it's not so runny, soupy, watery, and then you're having to dry everybody's sad tears. That's my dogs, not my kids. Cut up beef, yeah. We don't know, mystery meat. I use stew meat, yes, thank you for reminding me. Yes, we need, I use 1.75 pounds. Get a lot of meat so that no one is asking for dessert or snack after. In my house, the last time I feed kids is dinner. There is no after dinner, pre-bed snack because that's crazy. So here's the other thing I wanted to share. You're like, okay, well, let me show you again. Let me show you the magic of your Crock Brocc Beef. I tried to shorten crock pot broccoli beef. So Crock Brocc Beef. The reason that I'm sharing this is to make life easy, yes, and to use few ingredients, which again, you can add all the sauces or spices, seasoning, you can do all that later. When we stay on top of nutrition and hydration, which my water is like right here, I've mixed my BCAAs in here because this is gonna keep me level for the entire day. I'm gonna drink, how many of these? I'm gonna drink about 5 of these today because I really wanna get close to a gallon of water in. This sounds really boring, but when we stay on top of nutrition, that's all this obviously, and hydration, and we don't blow it with like an abundance of coffee. Like we can't have like the IV drip of coffee. Like let's cut it off at like, let's just say 3 cups is our max. Can you do that? We will have less nighttime cravings because Mom Sanity is currently going through the book Made to Crave by Lisa TerKeurst. And what we're kind of hearing is how women are like holding it together all day. We're like, let's do it. I'm gonna eat well, I'm gonna fit in those pants, and all of that is wonderful. But then the sun sets and all games are off. It's like, wait a minute. I didn't actually mean that because I ate well all day and I drank my water. So now is it okay to blow it? Once I put the kids in bed, am I allowed to finally unravel and eat whatever I want? Chocolate, ice cream, chips, whatever your thing is. For me, that would probably be chocolate. That's when we tend to start abusing grace. So yes, there's grace with nutrition. I don't think anybody ever eats perfectly all the time. I just don't. Maybe those girls on Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition, maybe they eat perfectly all the time. But real people, I think what we're doing is we're justifying those cheats because we've earned it, we've deserved it, we've had a really hard, long, stressful day, our boss gave us grief, our kids threw a tantrum, the dog threw up on the carpet, and so we cope with food. And I just am not sure that that's what God really designed. Cracker, hush! They're fighting like kids. But what can help us to not, at the end of the day, say, I'm so unglued, the only way I'm gonna make it to my own bedtime is a glass of wine. Can we just pause in that moment and say, Lord, will you step in? Will you help me through this mini crisis of like, oh, this is what I do. We turn on the TV and then I open up a bag, cracker, baby girl. Then we open up a bag of treats and then we like do all this. Cracker, come here. Come say hi everybody, you little donkey. Come say hi, you little donkey. She's fighting with her brother. Hi. So what I'm telling you is, instead of white knuckling it through those cravings that are probably gonna show up tonight, right? Because that's, history repeats itself. If we stay on top of nutrition and hydration all day long, we kind of max out at 3 cups of coffee, we drink lots of BCAAs and water because BCAAs, that's branched chain amino acids, those cut down on your cravings naturally. When we eat yummy, clean foods, that cuts down on our cravings naturally. So don't be the mom that feeds her kids breakfast but not feeds herself breakfast, that's actually gonna potentially set you up for failure tonight. If you skip breakfast, if you skip lunch, if you decide you're too busy to have a snack or two today, healthy snack, not Doritos, then you're setting yourself up to be more susceptible to needing more once the sun sets tonight. And so that's why we've already had breakfast, and ironically, we had a crock pot breakfast, so I had to wash my crock pot after breakfast so that I could start dinner. I had oatmeal ready and waiting this morning as soon as all the kids came barreling into the kitchen. It was already done. All I did was ladle it out. It was done. I need dinner to already be done so that I don't graze from 4:30 to 6 o'clock. So that does mean some preparation. It does mean some planning. But in the end, the payoff is, I actually don't think I need chocolate tonight. I don't think I really have any cravings for wine. Not every time, because really every time I feel like those cravings should be a signal, kind of this red flare moment of God saying, hi there, hi, can I fill that void for you? Can I be your satisfaction in a much more meaningful way that doesn't result in shame or guilt or regret? Because let's think about it. Once we polish off Ben & Jerry's, we feel shame. We're like, crap, I freaking blew it again. Why can't I stop? Well, why don't you stop it at breakfast? And that does mean planning, but you're a mom. You know how to plan. You're able to give 3 kids different antibiotics and get them to soccer on time and make sure that your other kid gets to dance on time. You are good at planning. It just takes like a minute. This was 7 ingredients, and really you could have omitted a couple of them and it still would have turned out great. So my recap is make this meal, stay on top of nutrition and hydration, which sounds so common sense, boring, like duh, that's not insightful. But chances are you're not actually eating 4 or 5 times a day. And that's what sets us up for the munchies later, as well as having overboard coffee. That can also set us up for those cravings later. But if we turn to God and say, can you help me through this? Can you help tonight? And only tonight, not even think about tomorrow night. Can you help me tonight to move past that? And that's what our Crave Facebook group is currently going through. Each day we're doing a 28-day journey. So we're on day 3 today, which is super exciting that we're gonna break those chains and finally experience the freedom that comes with being able to happily choose to say no to the junk later. But, so Cracker, isn't she so sweet? She's our little rescue, little sugar cake. I'm gonna put all of this recipe in the comments so that you don't have to remember. You can come back to it later, or you can head to the store today. But I'm challenging you, please don't skip meals today. You are too important, Mom. Don't feed them and not yourself. Drink tons of water with branched chain amino acids, because this tastes like cherry. I'm gonna get about a gallon in today, so that tonight, saying no to all those cravings is not even that big of a deal. And if they do flare up from stress or anxiety, or we have lots of stuff going on in our lives, that is our reminder to get on our knees and out loud ask for the Lord to step in. Because he has promised that there's no temptation that he hasn't provided a way out. He's like, girl, I will get you out of this, but you have to turn to me and you have to follow through. You don't cave. And it doesn't hurt to empty your pantry and freezer and refrigerator of the junk food. Because for me last night, I did have cravings. I did pray my way through them. I did not cave because I want to rely more fully on the Lord. But I was like, you know what? I don't even have that much stuff in my house anyway. There's not even a lot to choose from. It's not like there's a Butterfinger hiding. I would know. So anyway, I'm gonna go turn on my crock pot. Don't forget to turn on your crock pot, because then your life will be so upset. And I'm gonna go take care of my fighting dogs. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. And may I pray for you now as we end our time together, so that you can get to the store or start cooking if you have all these ingredients in your house. Lord Jesus, thank you for this wonderful morning that you've given us with new mercies. May we rejoice because you have made this day and that you have given us this breath for a reason. May we carry out your plan and your purposes for us. May we be intentional in our love for others. Will you help us to do hard things? Will you help us to say no to our cravings and an absolute yes to you? You are so good and faithful, and we love you and ask this in your name. Amen. Okay, moms, it's going to be a great day. You're going to be able to do this. You're going to knock it out of the park. I'd love to hear your comments about how you're going to cope with those cravings tonight. What's one thing that you can do that's easy, that's doable, that's going to keep you on track, okay? All right, well, I'm going to head out. Have a great day. Say bye, Cracker. Bye, little girl. Okay, bye, y'all. Thanks for joining me. See you later.